Hey, how you doing? This is George, Truck Driver Nation. So what we're going to do is go over MC, some of the issues with MC, so everybody gets clarity when it comes to actually having your MC, what makes it active, and what are you going to do if you got not enough time on it and you need to get freight for those people with new MCs or carrier number. So first of all, you need to know what you got to have in order to actually get an MC done. If you've got it, say, because a lot of people have parts of this and then they don't have other parts, but it all actually does matter. So a lot of people, they always usually get their USDOT number, their MC number, and they let it start rolling. Now, this is the problem where you got, because each one has its own portion, but just because you have that MC number and you got that USDOT number doesn't mean you're active. You still have two other points that you've got to get covered. So before your motor carrier number officially starts to accumulate time, several requirements must be met. Simply receiving an MC number from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, the FMCSA, isn't enough. It must become active and remain compliant. Now, here's what you need to have in place for your USDOT number. Your USDOT number must be registered and in good standing. Okay, then this is each piece when it says that. So the MC number activation, after applying for your MC number, and it has to go through a 21-day venting period before activation. Next is going to be the part that actually matters because you still need your BOC-3 filing and your insurance. Once you've got your insurance, the BOC-C filing is actually what's going to get you in place. Now, for the insurance, you must have liability and cargo insurance on file with the FMCSA. Most carriers need a minimum of $750,000 to $1 million in liability insurance, or at least $100,000 in cargo insurance. Oh, well, I'm not saying or, it should have been and at least 100,000 in cargo insurance. Your BOC-3 filing, that uses the process agent. There's companies out there that will actually help you do it. Now, how a BOC-3, the letters BOC, so it's going to throw you off, it actually means it's a designation of a process agent. And they actually, it's basically somebody in each state that represents you for each state you're going into. So in case there's some kind of issue, and whether it goes to court or something's filed or whatever it is, they're the ones that are kind enough to bring it to your attention so you can actually deal with problems, right? So so basically, you got to have one in each state. It's not that you just get a BOC-3 in your state. There has to be an agent, but there's companies that actually do that. Which ones there are, I saw something on them, but I wasn't going to just give you a list of people that does BOC-3. It's one company. They'll actually do the agents in each of the states as well as finish out your BOC-3 so you can get your authority activated. So now you're completely compliant across the board and you actually start building up time at that given point. There's also called, which this is not from what I'm getting, I don't know I don't know a lot on all these, so I'm just going to tell you what they are. They got the UCR registration. That is a register for the Unified Carrier Registration, the UCR, and it's to operate legally across state lines. So if you're interstate, not intrastate, you're going to need a UCR registration. Now, an IRP and an IFTA, if running interstate. If you're running interstate loads, you'll need an international registration plan, which is an IRP account, and an international fuel tax agreement, which is your IFTA. We all know the stickers that go on the side of the truck, right? So these two components you will need. There's websites for both of these. Just go in there, click on, get them filled out. Obviously, there's money involved with all this crap. The whole thing is money. I'll leave it at that. I don't like getting all political about how I feel about all this. Also, clearinghouse. Remember, we got the clearinghouse now and drug testing compliance. You have to have it, even if you're an owner operator and you're driving by yourself, so or you're driving for yourself. If you have a CDL license or drive yourself, you must be registered with the FMCSA Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse and set up a random drug testing program. So if you're driving by yourself, you're driving your own equipment, then obviously you are the random. So make sure you keep your shit clean. Don't smoke weed and all that stuff that's probably going to cause you problems. Now, state specific permits. Now, depending on where you operate, some states require additional permits. Examples are given like Kentucky, New Mexico, Oregon, and New York. So once all these are in place, your MC officially starts accumulating time. Now, make it easier to book loads with brokers that require carriers to have 30, 60, 90 plus days to be active operating history in order for you to get loads. Okay. Now, as I've read and I've studied, and my experience is, yeah, each company, each brokerage has their own requirements. Some give a shit, they give zero. They want you to start pulling freight. Or they might want 30, 60, 90. I've seen, people want 6 months. I've seen people want 1 year and a year and a half. And everybody's saying is, as far as I know, 2 years is the golden point. Everybody in case you ask, you got 2 years. But I get a lot of people say, well, year and a half is the golden point. Me, and as my experience as an owner operator, I never had no problem. Okay. And I mean, I did car hauling and I did RGN. I just never had no problem. Nobody gave a rat's ass. Can I get the equipment, or can I do what I need to do and not kill nobody and not end up with a load of cars laying out in the road? Because you're using central dispatch for car hauling, and RGN, obviously you're still using the boards, but still I did step deck, and I never had nobody deny me, and I didn't have a lot of time on my MC. And now, you obviously, if you want to use some of the brokerages, there are some that will actually work with you. So booking loads with as a new authority. Now, starting as a new carrier can be challenging, especially when trying to book loads. Many brokers prefer working with carriers that have at least 90 days or 6 months of operating history, making it difficult for new authorities to secure freight. However, there are ways to find loads and brokers willing to work with new carriers, obviously, because if you got them out there and there's X number of loads right now, that's not the issue for the most part. But if you got a pistol load of loads and not enough trucks, they're there to make money. They don't care. I've seen enough other companies do stuff that's twisted out. So it's their call anyway. So it's their brokerage. Now, the challenges with new authorities, limited broker trust. That's the whole point behind it. Many brokers hesitate to work with carriers that have no history. You haven't shown what you can do or what you're going to do to screw your own MC up. Lower load availability. Some higher pricing loads are restricted to experienced carriers. Never had that problem. I've carried pieces of equipment that were super expensive, as well as APCs and stuff like that, so I've never dealt with that issue with this. But I'm not saying it don't exist. I'm just telling you there's enough stuff that you can do, because I did it, that you'll be able to do it too, and don't really have to worry about this low MC deal. But I know they're out there because I hear people complain, they start asking about MCs, but I think maybe it's the way you present because you can use references and other things to actually penetrate and say, look, I got references, but we'll go over references here in a moment. Now, higher insurance costs. New carriers often pay more for insurance, affecting profitability. That's a fact. Okay. The insurance company is the mafia. Okay. Let's not twist it up. You want to talk about a criminal organization? Insurance is it. They've got to say so. They can shut you down. They can screw you up and make it where other insurance agencies are not wanting to play with you, or they want extraordinary, astronomical rates that really hurt your profit line. And now you just feel like you're giving everything away to everybody but you. Okay. Now, how to book loads as a new authority? Use load boards. You got DAT, Truck Stop, 123 load board, and there's a bunch of other free ones, and they have brokers open to working with new carriers. Obviously, it's going to be some of the smaller mid-sized companies, brokerage companies, that I've experienced have not been able to do this with. And there are some big ones too, and we're going to go over those as well. Build relationships with brokers, contact brokers directly, introduce your company, and ask about load opportunities. Look, just tell them, okay? Because if, like, for example, I got a new authority, and that may have been one of the reasons. I had a lot of experience because I didn't get my MC number till later in my career. And I think I probably already had 15 plus years driving the hell out of that truck. So maybe that's one of the reasons. Like, well, hell, he's been doing it for this long, and all the different things I had done in transportation, I knew how to do tons of stuff. What really hardly no freight that you can give me that I can't even get it on the truck. Sometimes I faked it till I made it. I mean, my first car hauling loads, doing an 8 or 9 car trail, whether it was a high rail, mid rail, whatever it was. Hell, the first one I had took me 8 hours to get that car hauler loaded, and it should usually take me probably less than 3. Depending on how I was switching. That's if I had some problems realigning the cars to get them below the 14-foot 2 inches height. But anyways, leverage factoring companies. Some factoring companies have a list of brokers that will work with new authorities. So make sure you talk to them. You got RTS, which is probably one of the bigger, better ones, but there is a crap load of them. So just go in there, pull up factoring companies for transportation and ask them, do you have a database, or go into their site. probably have to call customer service, but find out where they're at and work, say about working with those guys. Run short hauls first. A lot of people use this technique where they're starting out with shorter hauls and they're less competitive routes and can help build your experience. A lot of people actually underestimate short hauls. Now it's dependent. Now, if it's right down the street, you waste a lot of time to move that. Okay, it maybe you probably even went to red if you didn't get the right price because if you don't have the actual um, ability to negotiate that rate for that given truck. So, but short runs can get you what you need because most companies don't want to mess with short hauls, especially if they're live load and live unload. And most people are not going to be a drop and hook on those type of trailers unless it's a big carriers. And lots of time they have plenty of drivers that would more than willing to just drag trailers around. Utilize references from previous work. Here's your key one. If you or your drivers have prior experience, use past employer references when reaching out to brokers. It's not just that, but it's any broker that you've worked with, especially the smaller ones. The bigger ones don't want to give you references because they're so big. It really doesn't mean a lot. But if you can get some of the smaller where it's really a one-on-one where they got a closer eye on you, then those references, just keep it in a database. Like make it like a portfolio because you're going to need those until you get the time up and then everybody can kiss your ass because now you done built your experience up and you're ready to roll. But some of the best brokers, and when I say best brokers, I can't even put best. I'm just going to say brokers that you can look at and reach out to actually get it where, they'll book you for a load. I mean, some of them will stack loads. If you can pre-plan, they'll sure sit there and pre-plan with you. But as far as using them for a reference, probably ain't going to go very far. Everybody knows who C.H. Robinson is. They'll sit there and they'll pre-plan you. TQL, the cheap people that are on the scene right now that got people lawsuiting them because we want clarity about their rates because they do some scumbag stuff. But 2QL with Landstar, the brokerage of everything. How can I explain it? If there's something they can charge, fine you for, or get money out of you, this one will. Freight starts out, really high dollar prices. But when they get done chopping that all off you, it's gone. But thing is, that's what you need to look at. You need to look at the high dollar prices to understand what the other brokers are doing because those other brokers get good rates too. It ain't just Landstar. There's nothing magical about them. They didn't sacrifice children and make a deal with the devil. So you need to compare what's going on between brokerages. XPOs obviously become a big one on the scene. Logistics, they'll work with them. JB Hunt, depending if you're doing whatever, because they got multiple different ways of their freight, just like with FedEx and them. Coyote Logistics is out there now. They're really good as far as having freight. All of them have got some scumbag ways about themselves. Snyder Brokerage, um, they're strong company because they're big. I mean, lots of these are self-insured companies, and Snyder is obviously one of them too. And Uber Freight, Uber Freight ain't that extremely old, but they just got the buy power type of deal. They got the teams that they're able to do it, and they made it because a lot of big brokerages start up and they just don't make it. But even during all the bull crap, remember C.H. Robinson? I forgot how many thousands of people they laid off was inside their teams. So it can happen to any company. Now, how references can help you as a new authority. Now, when brokers consider working with a new authority, they often look for past performance indicators. If you or your drivers have worked under another MC, those experiences can serve strong references. Brokers like Landstar, C.H. Robbins, Coyote may accept references from past employers to build trust and offer better freight opportunities. They will, right? But remember, it also goes the other way. A lot of companies won't accept them because they're such big brokerages. So they don't consider, I guess, it worth the value of their references because they'll reference anything. Did you get it there and not kill nobody? And whatever it was, did you get everything settled? No OS&D and all that good stuff. So that's kind of the way that works. Now, by maintaining compliance, building relationships with brokers, and providing reliable, thorough, on-time deliveries, you can establish your business and start accessing higher paying loads faster. So you just work the system the way it is, and you're able to get them on up there and for us to give them a rate. But that's the way, basically, how you start out from scratch. There might be some other little ways here and there that that most people don't practice, but most people, mine's word of mouth. If you got a new MC and you need help, depending on your trailer, I can just hook you up with the people that I know. Hey, I know this dude, he's good, but I got to know that you're going to be worth a crap. I'm not going to put my name out there and I get screwed over because you didn't ever want to drive trucks to begin with, or you got poor performance, or you got people on your team that are poor performance because you just hired anybody out there because you got a new authority and you want to get drivers in those seats. I got to know that you're doing your job before I can refer you to anybody. But anyways, I hope that gives you a breakdown of, how to deal with this when you've got a new MC. You're looking to accumulate time, make sure that it's active. So when you get active, starts accumulating time. But remember, you're paying insurance. So you need to have those trucks ready to go. You can't do this just for the ease of it. You got to make sure that it's ready to roll. The insurance is different whether you're dispatching with that MC or you're, because remember, you ain't got to have trucks to do this. You can just run it as a freight dispatch service with that MC, or you can have your own trucks. And each one, the insurance is actually different on both. But so just keep that in mind when you're doing this. And if you have any questions or concerns, anything, please get a hold of me. This is pretty much well straightforward. You can easily figure this out. I mean, because once you're going, you're going. But anyways, make sure to visit Truck Driver Nation for information when it comes to anything that I discuss. Also, make sure you go to the back. We got job openings for people that want to stay on the truck. And the main purpose of our company is that we teach a lot of freight dispatching. So if you want to become a freight dispatcher and get off the truck, or you're a stay-at-home mom or whatever it is, and or your husband's a truck driver, whatever it is, and you want to get in here and learn this, we can get you trained up as quickly as assertive as you are, then that's how quick we're going to get you done. A lot of drivers we get done in less than weeks because they know a majority of it. They just need the rest of the information. But also, if you want to be a driver recruiter, you can do that. If you recommend people to our company, you get paid for that because we have an affiliate program. And obviously, there's some other stuff if you want to be a freight agent stuff, but you have to be a freight dispatcher first. I'll teach you freight brokerage, being a freight agent for free because you already became a freight dispatcher. You have to be a freight dispatcher first. And I mean, I got my own reasons why I choose to do that. People don't understand because they're not in it. But if you know freight dispatching, the rest of it's going to come to you easy. But anyways, visit the website, truckdrivernation.com. Give us a phone call, 210-343-1118. 210-343-1118, or send us an email, support@truckdrivernation.com. If you decide to attend the school, we have an easy way that you can pay for it. We use Afterpay. It runs through our Square, a POS system, and we can get you started, get all the extra website, the links inside that website turned on for you. That's all of our content, our book, our videos. I made it basically like an audio book to make it easier for you to access the information and get moving forward. But anyways, I appreciate it. I hope this helped to get you going with your MC. And we're here if you need it. And thank you for visiting Truck Driver Nation. Appreciate it. Drivers, please be safe out there on the road. Thank you.